Today we're hopping into the 3 top neighborhoods right here in San Marcos. Stay tuned, we're even gonna throw in a little bonus one. We're gonna jump in, boots on the ground. Let's go check it out.
Right now we are at Double Peak here in San Marcos. We can see every neighborhood we're gonna get into today, and we're gonna start right behind us at Lake San Marcos.
Neighborhood number 1 is Lake San Marcos. This neighborhood has definitely the most character out of every place we're gonna go today. The other few, they're like tract neighborhoods, they're like master plan communities, but this one is super unique. A lot of single story homes. We have the lake here. We'll get into the houses here in the next little clip. But this lake is one of the most unique features right here. It is surrounded by, there's a few houses surrounded, so if you're moving here, you're probably not gonna be lakefront, there's not a ton, but we are walking right by the marina right now. So boats, if you live up here, my buddy has a boat, he parks his pontoon right down here in the little marina, gets to use it whenever he wants. You can come out here, even if you don't have that, and you wanna rent some boats, you could do that. We're walking right towards Amalfi, which is the restaurant down here. So bunch of amenities up here. It is a golf cart community, so as you're cruising around too, you're gonna see signs that say golf carts okay to cruise around during the daylight hours. I believe that's a sign.
Does it say cruise?
It does say cruise. It says cruise around, but you will find that here as well.
On top of those things, you have the lake house, which is where we're walking right now, which is a cool little resort here right on the lake. We've had a couple of clients that come out here visiting, trying to explore where they want to live, and it's a great place to stay. It's also a great staycation. We have a lot of friends that have done that as well. And also it is a golf course resort. We're getting a little fountain water right now, kind of gross, but there are 2 golf courses, 1 full size and 1 executive golf course as well.
And one thing about the lake, you're not really jumping in. So like if you are coming from different areas where lakes are usable, you're water skiing, all that kind of stuff, you're not doing that here. You can paddleboard, you can fish, you can rent the boats like I said, you can rent the pontoons. During Christmas times, they have like a parade of lights, so you can rent a gondola, cruise around and check out all the lights around here. But you're not like hopping in, you're not going jumping in to cool off. That's why when we walked through the water, he said, yeah, because it's...
The birds enjoy the water here, and that's about it.
Definitely enjoy the water. And one other thing about right up here is there is an optional, not really HOA, but membership that you could join. And if you do, you get access to a few other amenities right over here where you have tennis courts, you have pickleball courts, you have a pool. There's a little gated area where you can use this little grassy knoll. You have to be a member though. That's where my buddy who has the pontoon down here, that's where he had his wedding reception. So you could do that up here too. But it's one of the more unique areas. Let's go check out some of the houses and see what they're all about right here in Lake San Marcos.
So we're walking through a neighborhood that's pretty prototypical Lake San Marcos. You see a lot of single story. One kind of cool attribute, Chris mentioned the golf cart friendly, but a lot of these have golf cart garages, which is pretty rad. You do have a couple townhome sections in here too. And as you go out from this section, kind of around the lake where you have a lot of single story, the houses tend to get a little bit bigger. You get a little bit more space, but in here, this is kind of what you got.
Yeah, and the houses over these past, let's say 10 years, 15 years, a lot of turnover. I would say when we're looking at searches, when we're checking out houses, you know, seeing what's going on in the market, this is one of the areas where you see a lot of flipped homes. So people are coming in, fixing them all up, and making them like brand new. So even though as a whole this neighborhood, the homes are a bit older, you will find some that have been newly renovated, newly fixed up, like pretty much brand new. Yeah. One of the downsides of right here is, since it is a lot of this area is around the golf course, if you have pets, if you have small kids, might not be ideal because all the ones that are along the golf course, they have like these smaller fences or bushes or something to, you know, divider between here and the golf course, where you don't have like a 6-foot fence or something. They're not, I don't know if they're not allowed up here, but none of the homes really have that up here. So just something to be aware of. But open floor plans, a lot of the newer ones that they have opened up, where it used to be kind of like a boxy home, open them up, kitchen, living room, dining area, kind of that open concept that you see all the time. And before we hop into the other neighborhood, just as a quick reminder, we love making these videos for you guys, but we're also a real estate team right here in San Diego. So if you're thinking about moving out here, maybe it's San Marcos, maybe not, maybe you got some other ideas, whatever it might be, feel free to reach out, call, text, email. Our number's popping up right now. We are the guys who answer the phone calls, the text, and the emails. So we got your back when making the move here to San Diego. And if you do reach out and you guys play golf, we're at the Exec, which is the smaller golf course right here in Lake San Marcos. One of my favorite courses.
Mine too.
Grew up playing here. Super fun. Wait for this truck to go by. But if you guys like golf, par 3 golf, quick course, hit us up. Neighborhood number 2 is Discovery Hills, a master plan community built in like the late 80s-ish, early 90s. So bunch of tract homes in here, but good sized footprints for this area of San Marcos, like, or for San Marcos as a whole. What you're getting as far as the size of the house, yeah, you get some size. Now, even though it's a master plan community, there is no HOA up here. So as we're walking down, you're gonna see in driveways, you're gonna see some trailers, some boats, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you don't have to pay that every month, but there's a little less control around the neighborhood.
So you're probably seeing the gorgeous weather today. It is a little hot today. We're looking at like 97, but this is definitely out of the norm, and I can't remember the last time it's been this hot. But anyway, we are cruising through a neighborhood that we've showed a lot of houses, and this is a bulk of what Discovery Hills has to offer. There's also Discovery Meadows, which is right across the street. Very similar feel. A lot of kind of smaller 2-story houses, and then also some bigger houses too. Also kind of unique, like the last neighborhood we looked at, there are a couple of streets where you do get some lake views of Discovery Lake, and let's go check that out. So we're right here at Discovery Lake. We're on the dock, which is pretty cool over here.
Another lake right here in San Marcos. We're doubling up today.
Yeah, exactly. So we are on the dock here. You do see people out here fishing every now and then. There's a really cool path that goes all the way around this lake, and that's maybe one of the neatest amenities of this community. Get your bikes, get your kids' bikes, scooters, all that.
Yeah, when my guys were a little younger, well, now we bring them too, but just on bikes. But yeah, it's probably less than a mile. It's probably like half a mile around here. Nice and flat for the most part. I get on my skateboard, they get on their scooters or their bikes, cruise around here.
And there's also a big playground, actually kind of recently refurbished. A really cool spot. I've actually never seen it actually happening, but there's a little spot where a little water fountain turns on, you can get your feet wet, goes down a cool little waterfall right here too. And then also from here, just as you go a little bit further east, you have a lot of amenities at North City. You also have a big shopping center that's right next to Cal State San Marcos as well.
And let's spin us around here. So right where we started is over
right there.
We're probably pointing right at it. But that's Double Peak. So that's like the highest point. We're tucked behind these hills here, which tends to get a little hotter in here, even though there's like a beautiful breeze coming through here today.
90 degree breeze.
It's a hot breeze, but let's spin back around this way. But if we're looking due that way, right where we're looking, there's also a few other neighborhoods. Rancho Tesoro, that's where you have some new-ish construction, not brand new, but you do have some newer construction. You also have that area, that's where you have some more affordable townhomes over in that area. So that's kind of the Cal State San Marcos area over there. So there are some of those options too. Now the houses, like I said, a little bit more affordable than other areas throughout North County, San Diego. And then once you get into the townhomes, even more affordable over there. So right now we're in North City. You guys hear the banging. There's some construction going on over here. There's a lot of construction going on up here. This area has seen a lot of growth. This is the area that Cassie mentioned where you're gonna find some restaurants. Buena Forchetta, fantastic Italian spot that we're walking by. You're gonna see it in the background here. Winston's Ice Cream right over here. There's a coffee shop on the corner, sushi spot. What else is it I missed? A new empanada spot over here.
Well, you also have Draft Republic just around the corner here too, which is a great sports bar, restaurant spot too.
And this area is gonna continue to grow. As they continue building toward the west, that's where even across Twin Oaks, they have the whole hill graded. There's gonna be some new communities over there as well. So this little strip, it's only about a block right now, plus Draft Republic. But as they grow, I think this is gonna be somewhat of the central area right here in San Marcos. This is gonna be like the new downtown. Once again, I don't know, hopefully you guys could hear us over all this construction, but it's gonna be happening for the next few years. So you'll see a lot, like we're walking towards this building. It's gonna be mostly apartments. But as they build out the other side, you're gonna have townhomes, single family homes, all that kind of stuff as well. So before we get into the last neighborhood right here in San Marcos, we're gonna give you a little highlight of this one, Mission Circle. The reason I'm bringing it up is because it's fairly new. finished within the last few years. I mean, they were still building super recently, but we've started to see some of these homes come back on the market. So it is right in the central area, Cal State San Marcos over there. Right where we're looking is the newly graded, I mean, just used to be a hill. When we were growing up here, it's a big hill, a big field, a few houses out there. Now it's nothing. It's just like a big open space. We'll throw up some drone footage here so you can see that. That's gonna be part of the new downtown as well. So this area is gonna be like in the central hub. Now, downside, these houses, since they are new construction, they're pretty tight in here, but they are brand new. So if you want brand new, San Diego doesn't have a ton of brand new construction. This would be a good area to focus on.
All these communities we're talking about today have very highly rated schools, which is a big part of why people want to move to San Marcos. And a lot of the reason for the highly rated schools is all of the construction over the last 20 plus years. This is the newest, but there's been a lot more with Rancho Tesoro and the next neighborhood we're hitting.
Now the third neighborhood we are in is, well, actually the fourth, but is Sano Hills. This is where you're gonna find the most houses in all the neighborhoods we've covered right now. You had Lake San Marcos, yeah, handful of houses. Discovery, now that opens it up a little more because there's a few other neighborhoods around there where you have Rancho Tesoro. Now, Sano Hills has a ton of different neighborhoods, ton of different price points, and it's just like a lot of people who are moving out here. We mentioned this area they cruise through, they love it. We've helped a lot of clients move right into this area right here. So anyways, it starts at the bottom of the hill. There's a town center down there. Anybody living here too, it's not necessarily like I live in San Marcos, even though it is San Marcos. Cassidy lives here. Where do you live?
Sano Hills.
Sano Hills, that's where you say you live. So it's a little bit different up here. It's got its own little infrastructure, its own little town center down at the bottom, which we'll show you here in a sec. And it is an HOA, but it's not like a typical HOA where you have a ton of amenities. You'll find a few parks here and there. You're not going to find a pool or really a community center. There's, softball fields, a San Marcos Park right in the center there, but right where we're walking right now, we're walking to one of the best amenities in here right now.
And that's the trail systems. This whole community was kind of built around the trails that lead from all of these neighborhoods in San Alejo down to the town center area, down to the elementary school, down to the middle school, pretty much walkable throughout this community. There are hills, as the name of the community tells you. So you are walking up and downhill, but it is a really cool amenity here in San Alejo.
And there's all kinds. I've explored a lot of these trails and they're pretty fun. They're awesome. Even though they're right within all these neighborhoods, there's beautiful views. A lot of times you're set up where you can look down, and today is a little hazy, but see beautiful views of the coast down there. It's just a really, really awesome spot right here. And you are right on the border, like right next to it is Carlsbad, so you can actually live in San Alejo, get a little more bang for your buck as far as housing prices, as far as price points go, and then use all the amenities of like the coastal cities of Encinitas, of Carlsbad, within about 20 minutes or so.
So right now we are in the town center of San Alejo Hills. There is a lot to offer down here. Pretty much every amenity that kind of keeps you in town. You don't have to leave for much. We've got a grocery store. You've got a handful of restaurants, including a new sushi spot. You've got Sets, which is a great American restaurant down here. You've got Starbucks. You have a brewery over here. There are a ton of amenities here in San Alejo, but you also have really cool right down here. You've got the middle school, elementary school. So it's just part of the community. The schools are part of the community. A lot of this town center just has that really community feel. You've also, for the other half of San Alejo, have a K-8 school, Double Peak, at the top of the hill as well.
And this area is where you're going to find most of the condos slash townhomes, which are super walkable. Some are right across here, right across the street, where you have access to this. So you're not going to find too much walkable areas right here in North County, San Diego as a whole, until you get to the little downtown areas. But this is one of those little areas that does have it, so it's pretty neat. And if you guys are thinking about maybe San Marcos, maybe Carlsbad, anywhere else, hit us up, reach out anytime, whether it's 1 week or 1 year from now. We are the guys who answer the calls, texts, emails, and we got your back when making the move here to San Diego.